Todd Gilliland here. You're tuned into the world's #1 streaming service, Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join the Discord channel so you never miss a moment of the action. Did America's crew chief already tell you that?
Coming out of turns 3 and 4. Chad White on the bottom. William Duff on the top. Checkered flag in the air. Who's going to win? It's William Duff. No, look out. He just junked it. Look out. Oh, my God. World's #1 streaming service, Hutchinson Motorsports TV. On the call tonight. On your feet. Off your seats. It's about to go green.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's race here at Daytona International Speedway, Week 1 of the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. I'm Jesse Becker on the call with you here tonight. Thank you for joining us here, as it's sure to be a good time, and I'm excited to help you kick off Season 3 here of the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Let's get down trackside, folks. Practice is wrapping up now. As you can see here on your screen, Week 1 here at Daytona. We'll go over the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series rules. Of course, we got a fixed setup here tonight. 3 additional sets of tires behind the wall. No faster pairs here tonight. So we've got a large field. I think we've got a full field of 40 plus trucks. I think we got 43 on the dot signed in right now, so full field, full with capital letters. So that faster pair, lack thereof, could be important. 100% fuel, 3 green, white checkered attempts, and as I said, in the booth with you here tonight, Jesse Becker. Practice wrapping up in just a second. Fastest in your field in practice, Andrew Littlefield. Of course, it doesn't matter a ton, being that it was just practice at a drafting track, but nonetheless, we're going to hop into qualifying and see who can hold the gas pedal down the best. Spotlight a few drivers here while we are at it. Let's see who hits the track first. Of course, thanks to each and every one of you for joining me in the chat. Boogie Down Jr. saying, let's go Keith. Where's Keith? Looking for Keith, looking for Keith. Actually, I don't see a Keith out here, to be completely honest with you there, Mr. or Mrs. Boogie Down Jr. But regardless, let's check out some of these trucks out here. You see them slow rolling in the 16. Colin Fambro, Team Force Racing, getting ready to start his qualifying effort out of Concord, North Carolina. Val Voline on the truck. He's looking to have a good season. If I remember correctly, he was one of the drivers fighting for the title at the end of season number 2. Sam Fontaine, he's out here. We got a Canadian out of Quebec. Sam actually has taken over ownership of GLSR after last season, so looking to have a great start to his tenure with the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Another familiar face if you're a GLSR racer, Ed Robertson. Good to see old Ed once again. Jobstown, New Jersey. Number 64 is looking good. We got a new face out here in the 87. Got the ride the Dente on the truck. Patrick Rawitz. That's how I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say Rawitz. We'll see if I am saying it wrong. Out of Montreal, another Canadian. This is the most Canadians we've ever had on the track at one time, I must say. I'm a little nervous. I'm used to having like maximum one Canadian. We got a bunch of them out there. But these guys are getting their laps started here. Let's check out a couple other names here. A familiar face on Friday nights for the HMS TV Cup Series, Josh Gagnon. This is where he discovered Hutchinson Motorsports TV is with the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Good to see him out here tonight. Hunter Johnson in the 88. He's returning after a fantastic season last year. We'll see what he can do in season number 3. In the 45, Tyler Brewer. Yet another Canadian. Castlegar, British Columbia. Making a start here tonight. We'll see how many of them he makes this season. I don't think it's going to be a whole bunch. I believe he said it would just be a very, very much part-time basis. We got the missile himself, Dylan Rosenberg, out of Bath, PA, making his appearance here tonight. HMS TV's own Chad White in the 36. Beautiful truck he's got. He just whipped this thing up before this race here tonight, looking sharp with that 36. We'll see if it's fast, though. That's the main question. The man that was victim of many a pun of mine last year, Brennan Shute, is out here, has returned once again for season 3. Good to see. We look at your board right now. Ethan Delaire sits top of it right now. Ben Pierce, with his bright green Bondo coin truck, sits in third out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Coming off an absolute barn burner of a weekend for him. Friday night, drove his own car to a championship in the HMS TV Cup Series, plus had another car finish. I think it was 4th or 5th in the points. So he had a pretty good payday. Let's check out who's still out here ripping around. Greg Mitchell out of Austin, Texas. That's a new name to me. Good looking truck. Radiant Concepts on the truck. Be getting used to all the teams and whatnot we've got out here now. Tyler Pluff. I remember Tyler specifically getting a win last year, and it was a pretty big deal because he's one of the drivers that's started most of the races that they've had for the Mr. Radiator Truck Series, so it was a pretty big deal for him to come out with a win last year. Derek Runge jumps up to 12th. He finishes up his lap, and as we look through the field here, most of the people are finishing up their efforts or have finished. Casey Lakatos going to call it with one lap and take 21st. Dylan Rosenberg crossing the stripe now. Just made it in time, I think. No, his time not going to count. That's got to hurt. He's qualified basically dead last, so tough scenes for Dylan Rosenberg. But folks, it's grid time as these drivers get ready to roll. I want to remind you, if you're looking for something to do, Saturday, August 15th at 8:30 p.m., the High Proof Showdown will be going live on BAC Casting and Drafting. $5 will get you in for a chance to win either $80 for first, $50 for second, or $30 for third place. So just scan that QR code bottom left of your screen right now if you're interested in ripping some next gens around Talladega. So it'd be a good time, 75 laps. Go check it out. These drivers are getting ready to roll. We've got a full field tonight, so we're not going to waste any time. we're going to get right into tonight's starting grid. Ladies and gentlemen, your HutchinsonMotorsportsTV.com starting lineup is as follows. Row number 1 on the pole position in the 66. It's going to be Ethan Delaire on his outside, the 28, Rodney Roberts. On row number 2, you have the 83 of Jackson Anderson. His outside going to be the 67, Bondo coin machine of Ben Ears. On row number 3, the 29 of Richard Midkiff, going to be to the inside of the 15 Forrest Smith Gradient Concepts Toyota. Row number 4, Tyler Pluff and the 39 Snap-on Ford, going to be to the inside of the 16 Valvoline machine for Colin Fambro. On your row number 5, Oakwood Homes 33 of Robert Lukens, his outside the 64 Gradient Concepts Toyota of Ed Robertson. On row 6 in the 52, it's going to be Tyler Hallman to his outside the 84 of Derek Grunge. Row number 7, you've got the 1, the Snapdragon Ford to Sean Petchin. Is it Peachin, Peckin? Let me know if you're listening. Is outside the 55, Greg Mitchell, Gradient Concepts. Row number 8, you've got the 65, going to be Mr. Keenan Kimber. Is outside the 4, you know him, you love him, it's Matt Tedler. On row number 9, it's the 69 KY machine, Jason Clark. That's Sir Jason Clark for you. Is outside, familiar face around here, going to be Tristan Lattiser in the 92. On row number 10, you've got the 24 Michael Curran, going to be to the inside of the 9 of Justin Bonder and Bondo himself. On row number 11, it's Casey Lakatos in the 50. To his outside, you've got the 44 of Andrew Myra. On row 12, you've got Lucas Strayer in the 41 spoiler diecast Ford to his outside, going to be the 36 Hutchinson Motorsports TV Ford of Chad White. Row number 13, you've got the 22 Andrew Jones Cole, going to be to the inside of the 12 Brendan Shute. Row 14, the 81 Fanta Machine Austin Holsey, going to be to the inside of the 53, Andrew Littlefield. Row number 15, the 77 of Sam Fontaine, going to be the inside of the 23 of Joey Lattiser. Row number 16, Hunter Johnson in your 88 Ram, going to be to the inside of the 49 Ram of Luke Simonson. On row 17, you got Josh Gagnon in the 79, going to be to the inside of the 87 of Patrick Rawitz. Man, this grid is so long, the music has stopped. Row 18, Tyler Brewer in the 45, next to Caleb Fosnot in the 43. Row 19, Dylan Rosenberg in the 40, next to Jacob Gladulitz in the 14. Row 20, it's Garrett Grant in the 5, next to Diego Sainz in the 99. Row 21, you've got Cedric Ingram and Cam Ingram starting side by side. And Mr. Irrelevant back of your field, row 22, going to be Robert Holder. Although he is in a number 11 Corey Heim paint, so look for that truck to somehow win this race. That's going to complete the starting grid here tonight. Give me just a second to set something up here in the background. All right, folks, these trucks are rolling. We've got a short lap around Daytona before we've got our first green flag racing of the season here for GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Let me know in the chat who you think's going to come out with the win here. It's a lottery for sure. You got 43 trucks. It can be anybody's race here at this super speedway. I'm scrolling through the list right now trying to make my pick. And you know what? I'm going to go with Tyler Brewer. I think it's going to be a feel-good story. You know, former owner of GLSR here. He's passed the reins down to Sam Fontaine. So I think it's going to be a feel-good story for Tyler Brewer. He's going to find a way to win here on a one-off start. Let me know what you think in the chat as they roll down the backstretch. It's sure to be a great season here for GLSR. Checking out the schedule, we've got a 14 race season. After tonight, we go to Old Atlanta, followed by Indianapolis, Richmond, Indy Road Course, Martinsville, Dirt Charlotte. That's going to be a fun one. Maybe Blake Hutchinson will get out there in the truck and rip it around. I don't know if he even knows how to drive dirt anymore. Him and Daryl Young broadcasting some road racing right now as well on the channel, so feel free to check that out if you'd like. You can watch both streams at once if you need to know how. Ask Connor Gerard. But lights are off on the pace car. We're going to be going green this time. Ethan Delaire, Rodney Roberts going to lead him into the radio replay restart zone for the first time. Green flag is out here in GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. We'll see how long it takes for him to junk it. Just remember, folks, no fast repairs here tonight. Cinch McCoy is joining us in the chat. Good to see you. Perfect timing. Right as the green flag drops, you show up as the front of your field. These two, Rodney Roberts and Ethan Delaire, basically dooring each other through turns 1 and 2. You see a couple drivers dropping down out of the draft, trying to head towards the back. Rodney Roberts going to take that bottom lane over in that 28, but Ben Pierce is up top. He can maybe take the lead over and see if he can lead lap 1. He's going to be across the stripe. First lap of the season goes to Ben Pierce in that number 67 Toyota. He's got another Toyota right behind him helping him out. That's Forrest Smith. Colin Fambro third in line on that outside. Your bottom lane is going to be Rodney Roberts, followed by Ethan Delaire. I believe that's Jackson Anderson third in line. Yes, it is. We might have our first 3 wide action of the season here. It's looking like, yes, it is. Good to see. We like to see them racing each other. 75 laps on tap here tonight. I don't believe any stages. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to be having any stage cautions here. The 28. 28's hitting pit lane, folks. Not quite sure what that's about. He might have got a penalty there at the start of the race. I do think he did. There's several other trucks on pit lane. Maybe serving pass-throughs. I don't know what in the world's going on. I must have missed something. If anyone does know the details, let me know. Going to be interesting to see how these guys decide to work together. It's a lot of old faces mixed with new faces throughout your field. Ethan Delaire right now in the bottom lane leading the way. I do believe this is going to be his first start in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. But then you've got really familiar faces like Ben Pierce, Forrest Smith, Robert Lukens, Tyler Hallman, Colin Fambro. Most of your drivers in your top 10 have been here, been around, know how things go here in this truck series, where there's a few new faces just trying to fit their way in. Right now, I will say the 66 Ethan Delaire is doing a pretty good job leading the way. I'm going to say this is Sioux City, Iowa. Oh, we've got some radio here from Josh Gagnon, known radio sweetheart. Let's take a quick listen here at this.
Sorry, Joey. It seems like everybody forgot their brains.
So you can tell that Josh is having a great time so far here tonight. As whoa, look at the movement at the front of your field. We've got some people trying to take the lead over. Ethan Delaire's blocking 3 lanes. They're trying to wreck each other. Hold on to it. What a save from the 33 of Robert Lukens. That truck was sideways. Wow. Holy smokes. 3 wide for second right now. Looks like Fambro going to take that spot over. That was insane for 6 laps in. The 66 Ethan Delaire is determined to lead the way here tonight. People thought they were wrecking and then they were fine.
Wrecking. They're not. Oh, no caution.
We stay clean and green here through 6 laps. I don't think we have a live race control here tonight. I believe the costumes are going to be thrown by iRacing. And from what I can tell, everybody kept it straight. I don't have any reports of a crash in my log or nothing like that. I'm going to keep my eye out the best I can. Let's take a look at some of the people in the front of your field here. Ethan Delaire still leads the way. You got Jackson Anderson following him right now out of Bennington. No clue where Bennington is. Maybe there's a Bennington, Missouri cinch. Maybe you can root for Jackson Anderson. He's getting passed right now, getting his doors blown off. Christian Lattiser going for the lead right now. KJD2 machines tuned up out of Alexandria, Ontario, Canada. And now he's left out to the dry. Now he's going to get his respective doors blown off. It's Tyler Hallman, that 52, doing a good job giving a shove to that number 66 truck out front. Let's go ahead and take a look at the people that have made up the most spots here early. Garrett Grant flying up through your field. He's back in 19th, but he's up 20 spots. You got Sam Fontaine sitting in 11th, now 10th, up 19 spots. Josh Gagnon, Dylan Rosenberg, Justin Bondurant up a ton of spots so far. Your biggest losers, Rodney Roberts started at front row outside. He's all the way in dead ass last, folks. Richard Midkiff down a ton of spots. Derek Runge, Keenan Kimber, Andrew Jones-Cole. Cinch says they'll take Anderson in Missouri, boys, and Hallman needs a home as well, so welcome to Missouri, boys. We claim Colin Fambro as a North Carolinian out of Concord. So you can't have Colin. Tristan Lattiser, of course, Canadian. Jackson Anderson out of Bennington, who knows. And, of course, you got well-known in the 4, Matt Telder out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Pretty slick scheme he's got this year. I like the number style on the side of it, to be honest. As Fambro and Anderson duke it out for the lead, you got 2 separate lanes. Jason Clark has drove his way towards the front here. He's making an appearance up here for the first time tonight, here on lap number 10, as Jackson Anderson gets out to the lead. Hope everything's going well with the racing club on the other side of the channel over there with the right turns and all that. Blake and Daryl on the call for that one. I'm solo dolo here for this Mr. Radiator Truck Series Week 1 of Season 3. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. It's much appreciated. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Colin Fambro not happier with Jackson Anderson at one point just a few laps ago.
Just make that block a little earlier, please.
Battle for the lead now on lap 12 going to be Tristan Lattiser and Jackson Anderson, but Lattiser going to take that spot over. New fastest lap goes to Casey Lakatos in the 50. These guys are coming up on a lap truck right here. Let's see if this changes anything. Oh, they're getting wrecked. 15 hard into the wall. Bondurant in the 55 and bomb. Surely that's going to be caution number 1 tonight. And yes, it is. A couple of trucks spinning to the infield. Yellow flag is out for the first time. Forrest Smith is junked. He's got a meatball to that number 15 Snap-on truck. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, he's not in the Snap-on truck. But it is junk no matter what. Let's take a look, folks, from the HMS TV blimp. Let's watch Justin Bondurant here, see what happens. Let's back it up a little bit here. Let's back that thing up. Let's take a look at what exactly happens here. You've got the 4 of Telder leading the way, the 15 of Smith and Bondurant just bumping in the corner. The 15 gets loose, and that's all she wrote, folks. Couple of hard hits for a bunch of folks there. Couple near misses. It says Sam Fontaine crashed. Let's hop on board and see what he saw. Yeah, he went for a slide. Not a lot of damage to that truck. Hopefully he can get it all fixed. Because we're going to refresh our overlay here. Hopefully get the replay transition to work. We might see some pit stops here, but that's going to be time for our first break of the night. And I believe Larry McReynolds has something to tell you before we do.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
Todd Gilliland here. You're tuned into the world's #1 streaming service, Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join the Discord channel so you never miss a moment of the action. Did America's crew chief already tell you that?
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is the world's #1 streaming service. From over-the-top calls to electrifying action, we bring it all to the table.
The whole field's chunking it. It's a drag race to the checkered flag in the air. Justin Thompson wins the Harpoon Design 500.
But the action doesn't just stop when the stream ends. Whether you're looking for a broadcaster or looking to secure your spot in our next special event, the best way to get a hold of us, and the only way to enter our exclusive events, is to join the HMS TV Discord server.
Don't get left on the trailer. What are you waiting for? Join the Hutchinson Motorsports TV Discord community today by scanning the QR code shown on your screen. We'll see you there.
As we both get ready to go back green here from Daytona, we got some radio to catch up on here thanks to Radio Replay.
Wait, what'd I do? Hey, that was my right front looking, Diego. What the actual was that? That's my bad, Clark. I had no idea you were coming out. Like, I'm gonna have a penalty for that. That better get cleared. That's ridiculous.
Does that get you caught back up on some of the chatter that happened while we were on break? Caution number 1 here, as we are 20% through this race. Cinch McCoy's blaming Canada. That's fair enough. Sam Fontaine going to drop to the back of your field with an EOL. Johnson, here's his thoughts on that.
Yeah, get back where you belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, going into the Radio Replay restart zone for the first time. Green flag back in the air here for the GLSR Mr. Radiator Trucks. There's cameras flashing everywhere. And folks, we're going to go ahead and crank it up for the first time here tonight. Turn up those speakers. Tonight, the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series Season 3, Week 1. Thanks once again to everybody who's joined us here tonight. I don't even know how many people are watching right now, to be honest. Usually I have a pretty good idea. Not too many. Just 13 people watching right now. If you are one of those 13, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps, and we would appreciate it. Maybe some people having some issues with the ghost Listen in.
I just got a 4X from the 5. I don't see him anywhere. Not Garrett.
Maybe Garrett Grant having some connection issues or something, causing some trouble back here. We ride on board. He's way back, just damage to that 5, so he's kind of out of the picture right now. course, has got to be a boy from Missouri here tonight. Keep the driver info up there, bottom of your screen. Try to keep it on. Right now we're watching Jason Clark out of Vernon. There's Colin Fambro again there out of Concord. Having a good run, staying in the front half of your field. Trying to stay ahead of the mess, I think, is what he's doing right here. We've got two pretty even lines hanging out here. Bottom lane's got the lead right now. Jackson Anderson, Ed Robertson. Casey Lakatos up here in the front of your field. Ethan Belair still having got a run. He's leading that top lane. Got Brendan Shute behind him in that 12. Three wide for the lead. Belair on the high side, Ed Robertson in the middle. Jackson Anderson on the bottom. Who's going to lead across the stripe? It's going to be Dallaire on that top. Caleb Fosnot up here in 19th, middle of the field right now. Having a pretty good run. 29 scraping the wall. Looks like he's going to be able to get out of it and be fine. This is a pretty chaotic race right now for 21 laps in. People all over the place as we're on board with Josh Gagnon. Carver through your field, middle of three wide he was there when we first jumped on board. Tristan Lattiser was challenging for the lead at one point. Now he finds himself mired all the way back in 23rd. You can see how quick it can change. Lucas Strayer leading the middle lane out of Elizabethtown, PA. Trying to make that middle lane work. Got the auto camera hopping around right now to whoever it chooses. Right now it's on Sean Peachin. Whoa, the 12 getting a little wiggly there. I think he's all right. Looked interesting for the second there. Look how far out the leaders are. Dallaire and Anderson trying to leave the rest of the field behind. It's a two-truck tandem. That'd be crazy. Look at that. Let's put our attention to that. Look how far out ahead they are. We're on board with Ed Robertson right now. Colin Fambro doesn't have very much confidence in the rest of the field right now.
This isn't going to last very long.
Connor Gerard keeping us updated, letting us know heat race number 2 for the M2 World Tour has begun. That's good to know. Let me know if Blake and Darrell have any HMS TV Plus Sport updates, because we might need those. We might need to find some of those out over here for the GLSR stream. I wouldn't dare steal their thunder and try to report on a sport that they wouldn't find as interesting as need be. Lucas Strayer's fighting for the lead right now. finds himself leading that bottom lane. He's got Ed Robertson and Ed Robertson, Lucas Strayer, Dylan Rosenberg giving him a push. He's going to leave. Okay, no, I'm losing my mind. What happened is I was in the middle of my brain buffering, and the 66's delayer went down to the bottom lane and screwed me all up. Okay, Connor, thanks for the update. Maybe he thought Daryl was joining him and Daryl couldn't make it. Nonetheless, hope Blake's having a great time. Caution is out, folks. What has happened? Several people went in pits to avoid it. Derek Runch has crashed, and I'd say so. That 84 truck has some damage and was backwards. Diego Sainz and Hunter Johnson having a back and forth. I don't think it's related to the crash.
Get the hell away from me, Josh. Hi, Diego. Leave me alone.
Alright. I was working on something in the background. Let's go back and take a look from the HMS TV blimp and see what Derek Runge had happened to him here. Oh no, Chad White just gets in the wall a little bit, and it was all downhill from there. Let's back that thing up and take a look in slow motion. So let's go to Chad here. And let's just play this. Let's play this in slow motion. You see him coming through turns 3 and 4 here. And he's got the 84 right on his back bumper, giving him a shove. The 43, there's a big speed difference there between Chad and the 43, and I think Chad's trying to check up and just kind of gets pushed up into the wall. 84 clips the 28, who smacks right into the door of Chad White. Basically just those 3 trucks involved from everything I see. A near miss there for a couple drivers. And we're under caution number 2. A couple trucks stay out during this pit cycle. Brendan Shute and Matt Telder decide to stay out, become your new front row here on lap 27. Leading the field off pit road, going to be Jackson Anderson. Got some more radio here for you.
You guys wrecking on pit road again? 2 for 2. I don't get how that's possible.
Apparently we had yet another issue on pit road. If I was paying attention, I would try to go back and rewind, take a look at it, but I'm not exactly sure who was involved. Couple people come back down to top off, probably on fuel. That's going to be the 50 of Casey Lakatos, the 24 of Michael Curran. Jacob Gladulitz, Colin Fambro coming down. Probably just wanting to top off, get as much fuel in the tanks as they can. NASCAR driver Matt DiBenedetto has something to tell you guys. I'll let him speak to you real quick.
Hey guys, it's NASCAR driver Matt DiBenedetto, and you are watching Hutchinson Motorsports TV, America's #1 iRacing broadcast service. So be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube today. It'll be the best decision you've ever made, so you can watch us sim racers go at it on the track.
Nothing more true than that. Thank you, Matt. Hope everybody's having a good time as we're 28 laps in of 75 here tonight. Connor reminding us in the chat, and he's absolutely correct. Restart number 2 is soon. And we're getting right back into some more green flag action here at Daytona. Brendan Shute, Matt Telder going to be your row 1. Row 2, Jackson Anderson, Ethan Delaire. Row 3 going to be Dylan Rosenberg and Lucas Strayer. So you've got front row familiar faces, second row a couple unfamiliar faces, and then some more veterans in row number 3. Pace car going to take the hard left turn and leave Brendan Shute to be the control truck here into the restart zone. Green flag back out once again. Holy smokes, the 66 of Ethan Delaire was sleeping on that restart. Gets a big check up to that top lane. Matt Telder just has to fit in where he can. Slips into 3rd place after an awful restart by the 66. Some more funny radio here. This is between your leader right now, Brendan Shute, and Matt Telder.
You're fucking slow. I'm in the lead, man. I'm in the lead, man.
Sorry, I accidentally did the same clip I did twice. What Brendan Shute had said at first was that his spotter had told him that it was his fastest lap, but it was when they were pacing. Three wide action there, middle of the field. Third lane actually kind of trying to form here. You got 4 trucks or so on the top lane, then you got a middle lane trying to make something work. 66 looks like he's getting shuffled out here by himself. Unfortunately for him, he's going to try to side draft and stick with this field. And he can steal a little bit of a draft from this top lane. That's it, folks. I don't think they're done wrecking at all. We're not even halfway through this race yet. And they've been racing the entire time. Jackson Anderson kind of shares my thoughts, I believe, here. This is some radio.
We're not even halfway yet. That's like,
That's the sound of a nervous man right there. Robert Lucan's roll. No, they're wrecking. The 66 is involved. Hard hit into the wall. Caution is out once again, and Ethan Delaire, who was once leading, finds himself with some damage. The 29 of Richard Midkiff could not escape. He finds himself backwards. Missing parts to that truck. He's got a meatball. I think he got the hardest hit out of anybody in this one from the looks of it. Let's find ourselves somewhere to jump back to. Let's go to here. We might have to rewind it manually. Yes, we will. Okay, this starts way up here with the 66. So let's jump to him and slow it down. You can see he's on the outside here of Dylan Rosenberg in that 40, and then you got the 44. I think the 44 just kind of doesn't give the 66 a ton of room, kind of just comes up into him a little bit. The 66 loops it around. And a couple guys just know where to go. 29 just wallops him. Hard hit for Richard Midkiff, and then look out. 23 gets smacked right in the door. Of course, that's Joey Lattiser there in that orange truck. Hopefully his truck going to be okay, and he can keep on going. But definitely some trucks hurt in that one. Midkiff on pit lane. But we are under pace laps once again here, lap 32 of 75. We're going to go ahead and take our second break. And we'll be back with you here on the other side. Thank you for tuning in.
Are you sick and tired of the endless scrolling on boring websites who just simply don't understand who you are? We've all been there. Well, look no more, because the world's #1 streaming service is now online. HutchinsonMotorsportsTV.com. We'll see you there.
Gentlemen, back once again, getting ready to go back green here on lap number 34, coming to 35. I do apologize. I just realized that I had the wrong logos there during the side-by-side screen, so I got that fixed. Green flag back out here at Daytona. Let's see if we can get some clean and green flag racing here. Let's see what happens. Let's drop the green flag. Brennan Chute still leads the way. Lucas Strayer looks immediately to his outside, going to try to take the lead over. And that spoiler, diecast number 41. Use code GLSR at checkout. Get you some diecasts, make some poor financial decisions. I'm a big fan of a good poor financial decision. I've made plenty of them, unfortunately, myself. As we're creeping up on halfway here, getting squirrely. That's Josh Gagnon there, trying to give Lucas Strayer a shove out to the lead. Strayer does lead the lap. But I gotta say, these drivers have been chatting a bunch during the break about, oh, they're 4 wide, oh, there it is, they're choking it. That's the whole field. It's the whole field. My computer can't even believe it. Oh my gosh. Wow. Everybody's junk, folks. 4 wide can't work at Talladega, or Daytona rather. Let's go up to the blimp and take a look, folks. We'll slow it down. You can see they're 4 wide for the lead. We'll just stop it right here. You've got the 12 of Brennan Chute there on the bottom. Josh Gagnon there, the second lane. The third lane is Lucas Strayer. The fourth lane, Hunter Johnson. And folks, they just run out of room. Josh Gagnon gets down into the 12, and it's just on from there. Let's see who the lucky driver is to be the first one to make it through here. Brennan Chute, not going to be it. Looks like it's going to be the 45 of Tyler Brewer's the first one to make it through this mess. But lots of trucks involved. I gotta say, it's probably more than half of the field involved in that one. As you can see, my computer started to absolutely panic there. But folks, Tyler Brewer out to the lead, made it through. Caution number 4, pit stops happening now. Brewer leads him down through pit lane. We'll see if we have anybody that stays out. Looks like Tyler Plouffe in 39. He's going to stay out and inherit the lead. This is Josh Gagnon's thoughts on the incident here. Take a listen.
Yeah, I mean, once we got put that way, I was generally holding my wheel as straight as possible. I think either I got sucked into the 12 or the 12 got sucked into me. Regardless, that was just all stupid. Understood, and either way, it's going to get looked at, so we'll have post-race review on it. It's all good. I'm just saying we need to be cautious on this.
So we'll see what happens, folks. We're officially over halfway through this race. We'll be back with you after a quick break. Again, thank you for tuning in here tonight. We do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you for some more green flag action here at Daytona. Don't go anywhere. We're back live at Daytona once again for some more action in the Mr. Radiator Truck Series. I gotta say, these drivers are the chattiest I've ever seen anyone with radio replay. It's causing my computer to freak out as the green flag is back out once again. It normally doesn't bog my computer down at all, but when people are talking back to 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 back, eventually it gets bogged down a little bit and you have to cut it off and come back to it at a later point. Lap 40 is underway. Tyler Pluff is your leader right now with Rodney Roberts, who's found his way back to some track position after having a penalty of something on literally lap number 1. So he finds himself back up in the 2nd spot right now. Robert Lukens in the 33 has managed to find his way through a couple incidents here tonight on Partlow, Virginia. Running 3rd right now, Michael Curran, the 24 Radiant Concepts Toyota running 4th. Tyler Brewer, the number 45, rounds out from the top 5 here at the front of your field. Everybody who's tuned in here tonight for the season opener for the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. I'm Jesse Becker on the call with you here. Look at a couple of stragglers here, a 3-car pack kind of by themselves at the back of your field. I don't doubt that's intentional. But now that they've lost the main pack, they've got to do what they can do to work together to try to stay as close to it as they can, I would imagine. Oh no, Ed Robertson ended up with a black flag there. Race control does clear. He said he got a wacky push. And ended up on the pit exit. More 2-wide racing here in your field. At one point, these drivers would settle out and try to tick some laps down, but everybody's trying to get in the position they can. I know the series admins are hoping that they can keep this thing cleaned up and get some laps done, but it has made for a pretty entertaining race. There's been some action, something always to talk about, somebody making moves or wrecking or something always going on. Cedric Ingram finds himself in the 18th spot right now. Keeping the car on the track, which is the most important thing. Jump back up to Rodney Roberts, Calera, Alabama. At number 28, qualified really good, and then I don't know if he got a black flag because of how the restart zone worked or what, but found himself all the way in literally dead last and fought his way back. Greg Mitchell's a name we haven't said much about. The 55 out of Austin, Texas, running 16th right now. Towards the back of this main pack here. Robert Lukens 3rd in line on the bottom, giving a shove to that 28. Doing his best to lead the top lane right now, trying to get it to go anywhere, but it's not really doing it right now as we hop on board. got a decent run down the backstretch there. Maybe gained a spot or two. Connor Gerard says the money race for M2 World Tour is soon. I'm sure that'll be a good time. We're officially at 30 laps to go here in tonight's race. Diego Sainz is at a quiet night. We haven't said his name much, but he's running in 9th right now out of Richmond, Texas. Y'all seen him on those Friday nights. The HMS TV Cup Series. We've definitely had a lot of the GLSR guys support that league and come over and race with us. It's been a good time. If you're new to the channel, we just had season 1 of our Cup Series wrap up on Friday. We'll be hitting season 2. Right at the end of August, the last Friday in August, is going to be week 1 of season 2 of the HMS TV Cup Series. If you're looking for something to do on Friday night, be sure to check it out. Scan the QR code whenever we go to the side-by-side. We'll have a QR code there for joining the Discord. Cinch McCoy's in the chat just telling the truth pretty much. Caution 479's fault. I mean, 4 wide in a corner, not going to happen. Yeah, I completely agree. You can pull it off at Talladega. It's scary, but you can do it. Daytona is just a little bit too skinny, man. Like, you have to have 4 of the best drivers all next to each other to pull it off. Not to say any driver that we have out here isn't really talented, but it just didn't work out as we saw. Look at this top lane dominance. Everybody's deciding to run the top of the track now, which, I'm all about. I've mentioned it before, but I love running the top line of these super speedways. I feel more comfortable whenever I have something easy to look at whenever I'm driving. Just let me know my car audio is way too loud compared to me. Y'all let me know if that's still the case. I did turn it down a little bit, but if I need to turn it down more, let me know. I think that's a result of the cars being too quiet at the last track we were, is that it made it too loud now. Connor in the chat says hashtag blame the Canadians. Cinch McCoy also saying to blame Canada. I mean, there's a ton of Canadians out here. As far as the nation of Canada goes, your top Canadian right now is in 11th. That's Tristan Lassler in that 92. And then you've also got Tyler Brewer still out there in 20th. Joey Lattiser hanging on to the lead lap back in 32nd. Six laps to go here at Daytona. 3 wide action on your screen. 23 to 52, and I think that's the 55 on the bottom. With a little bit of 3 wide. We went from single file at the front, now we're back to double file all throughout the field. Who is that in the 50? It's Casey Lactose with a HMS TV logo on the hood. I love it. Let's get on the nose cam of that machine. Let's take a close look here. Look at that beautiful logo right on the hood. I love to see it. He's got to get that logo up front, though. He's giving a shove to Michael Curran right now. Welcome to the chat, Blake Hutchinson. He says, Ben Pierce's NASCAR takes suck. Ben, of course, running in 13th right now in that 67 truck. Out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Roll Tide, says Ben Pierce. Hunter Johnson in the 88 comes down pit road. I don't know if that's a scheduled stop or not. If I had to guess, I would say these guys probably have to make one more stop for fuel. I could be wrong. These guys do have 100% fuel on board, and they last pit most, if not all of them, on lap 37. Battling for the lead. The 66 of Ethan Dallaire has found his way back to the front again. We take a look at your lap leaders. We've had several here tonight. Ethan Dallaire, though, top of the board. He's the only one in double digits in that 66. So keep your eye on him towards the end here. It's been a very successful race for that 66 truck. Take a look at your hard charger board. Diego Sainz up 33 spots from where he qualified. Cedric Ingram and Cam Ingram, both of those drivers were started in the back of your field. They found their way to the mid-pack now, so they're up 20-plus spots, as well as Jacob Gladulitz. Casey Lakatos rounds out the back end of that hard charger board. Whereas your biggest losers are going to be Justin Bondurant, Andrew Myra, Sean Peckin, Peachton, whatever it is. Tyler Clough and Chad White. HMS TV's own Chad White down 11 spots. Back in 35th. What is wrong with you, Chad? I mean, this is ridiculous. He's got this beautiful truck, and he's just putting around in the back of your field, not really doing nothing. Kind of disappointing. Jackson Anderson in the 83 finds himself back out front. Connor Gerard reminds us of your paint scheme of the night contestants. So let's see, while we've got this green flag racing, let's see what kind of clips we can get as we got some pit stops happening. Let's see what kind of looks we can get at the paint scheme of the night contenders. First one on the list is the 99. That's going to be Diego Sainz. What's he got on that car? It's a weird looking Pokemon on the side of that 99, but it is a very nice looking truck. There's a good shot of it there on your screen. 41, another truck that Connor Gerard just named. Let's see where the 41 is. Where is the 41? That's Lucas Strayer right here next to him, with a Menards inspired paint job on that truck. That's a good looking one. 16 of Colin Fambro. Valvoline is always a good paint to go to. Sharp looking 16 out of Concord, North Carolina for Colin Fambro. Final paint scheme of the night contestant spot 65. Who we've got in the 65? It's going to be Keenan Kimber. Sharp looking ride there. Rebellion on the side of that truck. He's running all by himself right now. In fact, I think he's having some leaking issues. Folks, I just realized something. YouTube is trying to translate stuff live in the chat. Blake just typed, "come on," and it shows me on my end translated to "hello." So I don't know what to tell you about that one. Pit stops are happening, though. We've got final pit cycles of the night going on. Tyler Pluff, Lucas Strayer, Tyler Brewer, Caleb Fosnot, Dylan Rosenberg all coming down for service. So we'll keep an eye on where they line out here as our main pack is shrinking. 18 laps to go. And like I said, we're going to start seeing final pit stops of the night. And here comes another big group. Jackson Anderson leads the way. Del Air comes down. Bondurant, Fambro, 33 of Lukens. That's a big group right there. That's an important group of trucks. You've only got about 7 left here in your main group. This is Matt Telder, Cam Ingram, Cedric Ingram, Diego Sainz, Tristan Lattiser, Jacob Gladulitz. A lot of KJD2 trucks out here. It's Telder, Sainz, Lattiser all working together on the same team here. Colin Fambro with the black flag. Must have been speeding. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? Fambro with an issue. He was having a great run. Unfortunate for that 16 truck. Must have been going a little bit too fast. Too fast. Too furious. $16 laps to go. This thing's coming down to the wire. We've got the final pit stops happening. As far as everybody that has come down pit road, everybody that's good on fuel, the 83 of Anderson leads the way out of that group, and he's got daylight behind him. Look at this hungry group of trucks coming up on his back bumper. The 83 might be a sitting duck right now. We're going to stay on board. Oh, no! Caution is out. Big time junk. I think it was the 16 of Fambro that absolutely smoked the outside wall. The nose of that 16 truck is looking a lot shorter than it normally is. We're going to have to go back and take a look at this the manual way, because we don't have anything saying a crash here. Let's take a look. Let's pause it and assess the situation right now. So you got the 66. That's going to be Ethan Dallaire leading the way with Fambro, Hallman, and then Strayer on the outside. You got Rodney Roberts here in the picture. Let's go slow as they head towards the corner, and let's see what in the world happens, because somebody hit the outside wall at Mach Jesus and went spinning, and I think it might be the 16 of Fambro here. We'll see. Gets a bump in the corner right there. Not going to be it. Oh, no. They lost it on the top lane is what sent the 16 hard into the wall. Hard hit for Fambro. Almost goes over. Strayer going to suffer a lot in that one as well. Let's back it up a little bit and take a look and focus at what happens on the top lane. The 66, 41, and 45. Just Brewer gets in the back of the 41 right when he catches the 66. And that was all she wrote. Huge hit. Huge hit for Fambro, who, unfortunately for him, was going to have to pit soon anyway. He had a black flag to serve. So it's unfortunate for him that his truck ends up junked. Several drivers do come down pit road here under this pit cycle, but Tristan Lattiser, Jacob Gladulitz, and Jackson Anderson make your top 3 right now. Several trucks going to be the wave around, and we'll see how it all turns out. Joey Lattiser with a black flag. We'll keep you updated on the whole pit cycle, and we're going to have probably a 10 to 12 lap shootout to end this race. So don't go anywhere, folks. It's going to be a good one. We'll be right back. Larry, take it away.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go back live here from Daytona. It's coming down to the end here in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series Season 1 opener. So be sure to tune in and not miss a moment. But before we go back green flag racing here, as we're going to be going green on lap 64, I just want to remind you once again here tonight, Saturday, August 15th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the High Proof Showdown, brought to you by BAC Casting and Drafting, where a $5 entry fee can get you a chance to win $80, $50, or $30, depending on if you can find a way to the podium. If you're interested in some money racing, scan that QR code bottom left of your screen to join their Discord. It's going to be a good time. Who knows? Maybe I'll even be out there. But this thing going to be ending any minute here with the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. So thank you all for tuning in here tonight. Christian Ladisser, Jacob Bladgelich leading to green for what could be the final time here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Barney is ready with that green flag, and he's going to wave his heart out right now. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. As the field races down into turn one, we're going to crank it up one last time. Oh no, they're wrecking! Tyler Hallman involved, the 22's involved, that's Andrew Jones-Cole. Big damage to that 52. The front end is not feeling good on that Pit Boss Dodge Ram. We're going to have to take a look back at what happened here, folks. In fact, let's just ride on board with Tyler. See what happened to get him that nose damage. Takes a good ride along the fence there. Let's see what we can see from the chopper cam. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's back it up. Get back to the start of this thing. You can see what's happening here. You've got the white truck there near the top of your screen. That's going to be Matt Telder. It kind of starts with him, so keep your eye up there. He gets a little out of shape. The 52 looks to his outside, and then all of a sudden up the track goes the 4. The 50's involved. The 79 of Gagnon. The 88 of Johnson slightly involved. The 32 finds himself going for a ride as well. So a lot of trucks involved in that one. That's Cedric Ingram, the 32. Hard hit for the 88 there near the end. Hunter Johnson might have some serious damage to that truck. Keep in mind, no faster pairs. So that wreck was big. That cleans out a lot more trucks. This field is starting to shrink as the 14 of Gladulitz leads the way. Folks, let me know in the chat. We're getting down to the end. I'll give you a mulligan. You can re-pick. You know, if you picked somebody to win earlier, here's your chance. You can now choose somebody else. A lot of people at the front of your field have been up there all night. Ethan Dallaire, the 66 truck, running second right now. He has been up front pretty much all night, showing himself to be quite a good super speedway racer. Jackson Anderson running fourth right now in the 83. He's also been at the front of your field all night without much of an issue. Tristan Lattiser's led a lap or two here tonight, so he's been doing good. The 28 of Rodney Roberts right behind him, qualified outside of your front row, found himself getting a penalty. He's fought his way back and running sixth right now. And then certainly last but not least, the 65 blinking away, it's Mr. Keenan Kimber out of Elkin, North Carolina. Blake doesn't pick anyone to win, but he specifies that he's not picking Chad White, who's in the 36 truck right now, running 33rd. Not a great start to the season for old Chad right now, I can say that much. Cedric Ingram in the 32 sitting on pit road right now, has a black flag currently. Hopefully that can all get settled out. Feel like lights are going to be off on the pace car this time. I got to tell you one thing, folks. I'm going to be tired whenever 4:30 rolls around tomorrow morning and I'm waking up, as we're on lap 67, folks. So go ahead and celebrate. If you're on mobile, what do they call them things, Blake? I know you're listening. What do they call them? Are they jewels? I already forgot. But basically, you got some free stuff you can send. One of them will give you a 6-7. There it is. Blake sent the 6-7 for 67 jewels. I don't have the fancy pop-ups that Blake has, unfortunately. You can only get those on Streamlabs if you're actually signed in directly to an account, and I'm not. Cinch McCoy, as always, keeping track of who's running 14th. He always celebrates whoever finishes 14th place with a beautiful song by Girth Brooks. Speaking of that, make sure you tune in to the channel tomorrow night Gonna have a special event in honor of Willie Smith. So be sure to come out and watch that one. Show your support. I'm sure it would mean a lot to a lot of the folks there. And Connor is on top of it. We got restart number 6 getting ready to happen. Lights are off on the pace car. He takes the hard left turn. They head towards the radio replay restart zone for what could be the final time. We'll see. Green flag is back out. Black flag to the 88 Hunter Johnson. We'll see if race control decides to clear that one or not. Not sure what it could be, but it looks like they did. He has no more black flag. And Ethan Delaire in that 66 trying to take the lead back over. He's been in it a lot here tonight. Very good race for the 66. We'll see if that trend continues, if he's going to lead the way to, I believe it's his first race in GLSR, and he could find his first win if he plays his cards right. Same thing with Jackson Anderson in the 83 right behind him. Both trucks have had a very good night. The 66 ditches him. The 83's in no man's land. Finds himself stuck middle, 3 wide. Oh no, the 66 goes around. It was a late block. The 14 takes him out. There's more junked race trucks, and we're back under caution again. The 14. Jacob Gladulitz looked to the outside. 66 didn't like it, tried to block, but it was too late, and he gets turned off the F-14's nose, and they are junk. Let's go back and take a look at this thing here. I believe this should get us a replay of it here. Let's take a look from the HMS TV blimp at what's going on. So let's back up here a little bit and get a closer look here on the front of your field. We'll leave it right here. Jacob Gladulitz here in that 14 Burger King. Well, it's Drift King actually, but take a look. Coming out of the turn, he gets a big run, goes to the top lane here. The 66 tries to block, but the 14 already had his nose there, and the 66, well, he's going to get smoked into the wall. The 14 goes for a ride. 84 almost got by it, but he could not. Who's the first truck that's going to get through this unscathed? It just might be the 83. Jackson Anderson going to be the first truck to make it through this mess. There was all sorts of action in that one. But we are on lap 69 coming to 70, and we are under the 7th caution of the night. Tons of 7s going on right now. Cinch McCoy says the 14 did it. I don't know about that, man. I think that's on the 66 personally. I think he's just been... 16 Ethan Delaire's been thinking about winning since lap 1. I think that's the biggest thing I can say for the 66. He's staying out here. He's going to try to stay out here and fight for this thing. We're going to go green probably with about 4 laps to go. Change his nickname from Drift to Hook'em. I don't know if Jacob would like that too much. Not that that's ever stopped us from changing a nickname before, but regardless. I heard Larry McReynolds itching to talk to you guys again here. What does he got to say? I'm sure it's something new from the last 270 times. Let's see.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
Hey guys, it's NASCAR driver Matt DiBenedetto, and you are watching Hutchinson Motorsports TV, America's #1 iRacing broadcast service. So be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube today. It'll be the best decision you've ever made, so you can watch us sim racers go at it on the track.
I swear my computer hates that transition from the side-by-side back to live tonight. But I mean, I guess I can't really blame it. We got 43 trucks on track at Daytona. I don't make the big money that Blake Hutchinson makes. I can't buy a supercomputer, you know. Look, I'm just doing what I can do here on a 3070 Ti, and we're making it work. One day I'll have a better computer, but nonetheless, we're going to get this thing rolling. I'll pop it up bottom left here of your screen on your tower, the event rules, just as a reminder. 3 green, white checkered attempts. That's all we've got. Hopefully we don't have to use them all, but it could always be possible. So make sure you keep count on how many green, white checkers we've used up, folks, because there's a chance we use all of them. This one gonna go green though without using the green, white checkered. And I think we're gonna take this restart from on board the 83 of Jackson Anderson. See what it's like to be leading the front of your field, a late race restart here at Daytona. As the pace car gonna dip off. Jackson Anderson gonna lead him into the radio replay restart zone as we hop on board. Big run coming from that middle lane. Big bump. It's the 66 of Delaire. He's got damage on that truck. He might be a parachute if he gets out in clean air. We'll see. But right now he could still be a hell of a pusher. They're bobbing and weaving in that top lane, looking like a snake. Hopefully they can keep it clean. 4 laps to go here at Daytona. 83 dips down to the bottom. The 40 going to ditch the 66. Getting a little sideways. The 40's loose, folks. The 64... Ed Robertson out of nowhere on the bottom lane. 64 with a huge run. He's going to lead the lap. 3 laps to go. Ed Robertson out of nowhere is taking the race lead over. Michael Curran right behind in the 24 truck, trying to make a name for himself here tonight as well. 3 laps to go at Daytona. Who's it going to be? Will it stay green? Will we have another caution? Only one way to find out, and that's to stay tuned right here on HMS TV. The GLSR Season 3 opener going to end with a banger. 83. It's going to be Jackson Anderson leads the way. The 64 of Ed Robertson with another huge run out of turn 4. The 24 of Michael Curran's all over his back bumper. 2 laps to go. Oh no, and they're wrecking. The 45 of Brewer involved. There's big junk. Caution is out. I know Robert Lukens is involved. You see him slow there on the bottom. The 81 of Austin Halsey. Oh, look out. I thought he was about to smoke that guy going by. They keep it clean. And we get to go back the hard way and see what we can spot here. So I know it all started to happen with Tyler Brewer. Where is he at? You can see the Red Bull car right behind that orange 23. Orange 23 there, Joey Ladisser. Let's go slow speed here. A bit of a checkup. The 45 of Brewer gets a big hit from behind. That's going to loosen that 45 truck up. He finds himself on the apron now. Just tries to get back on the surface. The 84 actually dips down into him off the 39's bumper. And that's where chaos ensues. That's going to be a game changer for a lot of these drivers. People like the 81 of Austin Holsey was having a super quiet night in that Fanta truck, and now he finds himself spinning through the infield. Let's ride on board with him for it. Let's see his view. That truck got a little light during that wreck. It thought about going over for a second. But nonetheless, back under yellow here one more time, potentially up to 4 more times. We'll see what the case is. Ed Robertson coming out of nowhere. Had a quiet second half of the race up until those last few laps, and all of a sudden he's flying up into the lead. So keep an eye on that 64. He's got speed right now. Jackson Anderson going to restart to his outside here, so we'll see what happens. Ed Robertson, I don't know if he's able to, but he might choose the top lane, get that 24 of Michael Curran behind him. We'll see what they decide to do. Dylan Rosenberg and Joey Ladisser round out your top 5 with Ethan Dallaire, Diego Sainz, Ben Pierce, Tyler Brewer, and Caleb Fosnot rounding out your top 10. Folks, take a look at this list of drivers that have had to take repairs in this race. This is a big old list here. Andrew Myra, 9 minutes 44 seconds. He's got that 14 truck back out there. Goes to show that it's not worth ever giving up. Justin Bondurant in the 9 has had 8.5 minutes of repairs done. Sam Fontaine, 7 minutes 20 seconds. He still finds himself on the lead lap, so that's pretty big. A lot of names on that list. Connor Gerard says, I wonder how the radioactive is. There's a little bit of conversation, but it's nothing too crazy. I did pause the radio replay from listening with fear of my computer exploding. So I've got nothing to bring to you at the moment. First green-white checkered attempt going to be this restart coming up. As they're going to get ready to grid up and go double file. This race is going to be wrapping up here soon before we know it. It'll be interesting to see which truck's going to come out on top. We have a lot of trucks surprisingly left for the amount of wrecks we've had. There's still several people in the fight. I don't know if there's a clean truck out there, to be honest with you. But there's definitely still some fast ones left. We'll see which one can come out on top here tonight. Minnesota Skull 4 in the chat with the hashtag Daryl was robbed. I don't think I've seen anything more true in my life. Lights are off on the pace car. They're heading through turns 3 and 4. This is going to be a barn burner of a finish, folks. Trucks at Daytona almost always is, so we're going to have to see what happens here at the end of this race. Will it be Ed Robertson? Will it be Jackson Anderson? Will it be somebody else? Who knows? What I do know is pace car is about to dip off. Fans need to get on their feet off of their seats. They head to the radio replay restart zone one more time. Green flag is back in the air. The 64 of Robertson gets a decent jump, nothing crazy. He's going to have help from behind by the 24, Michael Curran. On the top lane, Jackson Anderson getting a push from Dylan Rosenberg. 2 by 2 at the front of your field. Which duo is going to work better together? We're going to just have to keep our eye on it and find out. Right now it's that top lane. Jackson Anderson out to the lead, but for how long? The field heads down to turns 3 and 4. If they can get through this lap clean, the white flag will fly and the next flag will end it, which will be the checkered. Well, we got some blocking happening. The 83 chooses to block the high lane. The 64 Robertson. Oh no, the 40's in the wall. They're going to be a big checkup. White flag flies. We're going to have a finish here, folks. The 83 of Jackson Anderson leading the way. He's got Dylan Rosenberg right on his tail. Bottom lane is the 64 of Robertson and the 24 of Curran. The 83 makes the block down low. Going to try to control both lanes. He's got a fact of about 9 cars here. Oh, here comes the run. The 40 gets turned. Rosenberg goes around. That's Ethan Delaire going to be trying to make a run on the 83 here. He's got damage to that 66. Is he going to be able to make anything happen? I don't know. They're coming out turn 4 down the front stretch. The 83 makes one block. The 66 is going to get turned. The 83 gets the win. Jackson Anderson wins at Daytona. The field wrecks behind him. What a finish, folks. Unofficial results. Jackson Anderson gets the win. Week number 1 of Season 3, GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Michael Curran finds himself nose into the pit wall. He came across the line second, and then Joey Lattiser brings it home third to round out your podium. Mr. Keenan Kimber finishes 4th, and Diego Sainz gets the 5th spot. Ed Robertson, Matt Telder, Ben Pierce, Ethan Delaire, Greg Mitchell round out your top 10. Blake says it best. He says there are some hellacious blocks. We've got quite a bit of stuff on that last few laps to go back and take a look at real quick. So let's take a look. Rodney Roberts was involved at something here on lap 79. Good Lord. It's a big old junk fest happening when the rest of the field is taking the white flag. Let's hop on nose view here and see what in the world's happening from the perspective of Rodney Roberts. There were trucks everywhere. Wow. A lot of trucks junked in that, and then they went around towards the end here. Dylan Rosenberg went for a ride. I don't think he ends up coming back on track. He just kind of loses it by himself. And then right there at the end, they were racing pretty hard at the front of your field. '66 looked high, then went low. 64 Robertson saw some airspace, tried to take it low. I don't think it quite worked out for him. But Jackson Anderson, folks, gets the W here tonight in that 83. I don't have the stats in front of me, but that name's very unfamiliar for me. I'm going to have to make sure and ask him, but I think that's his first start in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. So let's take a look at your results page here. Jackson Anderson with the win, as mentioned. Michael Curran second. Joey Laddiser takes home third. Hard charger was Diego Sainz, up 35 spots. Jackson Anderson in the 83 did lead the most laps. And unfortunately for Tyler Brewer, he had the most incidents here tonight. Not a great race for that 45. He was my pick to win pre-race. I was hoping for a feel-good story. Apparently, it's a feel-bad story for the 45. But let's go ahead and check out the Discord here. We've got our top 3 ready for their interviews, so let's go ahead and talk to them, see what they have to think about their races tonight. Starting with your third place finisher, Joey Laddiser. Hey, Joey, it's Jesse up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Hey, man, we got you.
Man, what a race. You survived till the end. You survived to get a podium. I know I saw that 23 involved in a couple incidents, but you come through at the end where it matters. Just tell us about your night overall. How to go for you out there. It was a Daytona race for sure.
For sure. No, my game plan was to try to stay out of trouble, and then I got caught up on one of those earlier wrecks, and I had like 6 minutes of damage, and I just kept coming in, and I ended up losing a lap, losing the pack, and got fortunate enough to get the lucky dog on one of those cautions, and then from there on in, I had my mindset. I'm not coming off the bottom. If this lane don't move, this is what I'm giving myself an exit lane if things go bad. So it kind of worked. We hopscotched our way up to the front there, and I mean, it was pretty hairy that last lap. We're just trying to make the right move to kind of come out of there straight, and we managed to nip third place just by a few feet, I think. So.
Yeah, it was definitely close across the line. You got third place by only 6 1/1000ths, speaking of that gap. So definitely a close finish. I mean, from my perspective up in the booth, and I mean, you can talk as a driver about it, but it seemed like from lap 1, there were a lot of people out there looking to get the win pretty early on. Sometimes you can see these Daytona, season starting races kind of settle out and just take laps down. We never really had that tonight, I don't think.
Yeah, well, we had a few drivers that were, I don't know what school of blocking they went to, but they were very aggressive on the blocks and late on the blocks. And I mean, we've seen it throughout the whole race. I think, there's a few drivers that were probably responsible for, probably half the wrecks, So I don't know. It's something they're going to have to look at, I guess, but it didn't affect me necessarily because I wasn't one of the ones getting blocked, but I could see it happen. And when you see a guy going across 3 lanes and he's got inches to spare, that's pretty desperate stuff. But I guess, we're still in a simulator here, so nobody gets hurt if they do a stupid move. So if they were in real life, It would hurt a little more.
Yeah, it would. It'd definitely make somebody think twice, I'd think, if there was
That's for sure.
Some pain receptors involved here with iRacing.
Need some shock collars or something. But anyway, like I said, it's it is what it is. First one of the year. We got some new guys in the series too, so they might have to get a little accustomed to how they officiate this, and I'm sure there'll be conversations with the admins and stuff, and they'll have some positive or at least some constructive feedback for everyone to try to build off for the rest of the year. But it's nice to see a full field, and hopefully we can keep that going for this year.
Absolutely. Before we get to the shout-outs, we're heading to Old Atlanta next week. How are you feeling about that?
I haven't been on that track in so long. I like any mile and a half I like. So I think when you got full fields like we have right now, it's going to be interesting because everyone tends to find a group of cars that they can race with for the whole run, rather than you got 15, 20 cars, you get spaced out, and it just goes caution free because nobody's got no one to race, right? So I think it should be pretty good racing. It's always been a good track on the sim, so hopefully it translates to a good race for this series, and then we'll keep the ball rolling on a positive note for the season.
Yeah, I think it was Connor Zilich this week on Actions Detrimental said that the battle from like 20th to 32nd, they call it the dog pound. I think that'll be a good place to watch next week at Atlanta. We'll see
For
how that
sure, and
goes.
yeah, it'll be harder to come up through the pack and all that stuff, but strategy might come into it. People might save tires for the end. You can never know what's going to happen there, so it'll keep it interesting. And like I said, we've got from what I can see, some of the new guys are got some pretty good speed, so it's gonna mix it up for sure. Be interesting to see how it works out.
All right, before I let you go, Joey, any last shout outs you got? The floor's yours.
Oh, just thank my KGD2 crew. And everyone that's in charge of this league at GLSR. It's our Wednesday night home, and I'm proud to be part of it, proud to support it, and hopefully the season's the best one yet.
All right, thank you for joining me. Congrats on the third place. See you next week, Joey Lattiser.
Take care. Thanks.
No further ado, let's jump right to your second place finisher. It's going to be Michael Curran. Let's see his thoughts on the night. Michael, it's Jesse up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
Doing good, man. You got to be feeling pretty good bringing home a P2 here to start the season after what I got to say was a pretty chaotic Daytona race. Just speak on it from your perspective. What do you think about tonight's race?
You took the words right out of my mouth. It was chaotic to say the least. Yeah, definitely excited for the P2 tonight. Considering I think I was involved in just about every wreck, so to limp the truck home in P2 and have a shot there at the end, man, yeah, needless to say, I'll take it. And it's a great way to start the season as well. P2, I think it was a strong team points night for us as well. So had a few trucks in the top 10 there at the end. So yeah, definitely a good way to start the season.
Yeah, 21 incidents for you on the night. I gotta say, it's definitely, you got beat up. You weren't anywhere close to the most. That goes to Mr. Tyler Brewer. Unfortunately for him, making a one-off start, he got really beat up tonight. But I definitely got to say there were a ton of Gradient Concepts Toyotas out there tonight, and I saw y'all working together a little bit. So, like you said, good night for the team. I don't even know how many trucks were out there. There's a bunch of them though.
Yeah, we it was hard for us to kind of get connected, especially with all the cautions and wrecks. It would definitely shuffle the field up, but when we were able to connect, especially there at the end, I was trying with all my might to push Ed there to the lead there at the end for the checkered flag. It just didn't quite work out, but yeah, it was good team camaraderie there and working together. So hopefully we can keep it going into next week.
Speaking of next week, Old Atlanta's on the schedule coming up. How do you feel about heading there? I'm sure it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, that's always a driver's favorite kind of a track, right? Old surface, sliding around, multiple grooves to play with. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one's going to be really fun, and it's way different than Daytona, right? So so
Yes.
it'll be a good mix up here from the super speedway racing. So definitely looking forward to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good time. Old Atlanta has a special place in my heart. That's where I got my first ever league win. So who knows? Maybe
Hey,
somebody can get their first GLSR win next week. So we'll see what happens.
maybe we'll see you on track next week.
Yeah, maybe not. I think I'll be in the booth. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to join you guys on the track, I think Mr. Blake Hutchinson has a couple more road races to do, and then he might be coming over, and then maybe I can get out there. We'll see what happens. But before I let you go, man, the floor is yours. You got any shout outs you want to make?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys up in the booth. Always doing such a fantastic job there. Shout out to our fans, of course. Hopefully, we put on a good show here for the first race of the season. So hope you guys tune back in next week and see how it goes. Certainly, Gradient Concepts and all my teammates at Powerhouse and all my friends and family that are cheering me on as well.
All right. Well, congrats again on the second place. Good start to the season, and we'll see you next week, Michael Curran.
Thanks, Jesse.
That leaves us one more to talk to. We'll see his thoughts on the race. He was up front all night, bided his time, and found his way to the lead right when it mattered. Let's see what he thinks. Jackson, it's Jesse up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Man, you were up front all night, and you were up front on the most important lap. You cross the line first, you get the win. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your name seems kind of unfamiliar. Is this your first GLSR win here?
Yes, this is my first time in this great league so far.
Dude, I mean, no better start than that, right?
Right. It was a fun battle up front for sure. Like, it was a lot of fun. I don't know how middle or the back was. I tried to stay away from that area because that's where the wrecks generally tend to be. So I just made my focus to stay up in the top 5 area.
I mean, you did a good job. You were one of the trucks that I talked about multiple times that you were just you were staying near the front of the pack. There weren't very many times where I saw you were, kind of out of the top 10. You were definitely up there most of the time. Like, what do you kind of contribute to that? Do you have a lot of super speedway experience? You just know how these trucks work? What do you think?
I love racing the trucks here. And it helps to have a teammate like Ethan Delaire and Austin Holsley. And I just had Ethan in front of me, and I was just basically making the call outs of for him to go so I could push and keep my truck cooled off. And that way we can manage the front the best we could and keep us up there. And I feel like we did a great job on that. I feel like we pretty much controlled that tire race between me and Ethan.
I mean, I would agree from my perspective too, because Ethan was the other truck that I was talking about, was just doing a really good job of staying out front, out of the mess. Unfortunately for him, right there at the end, it kind of started to fall apart for him, but you managed to come through with the win. Now, looking to next week, you're coming into next week with the best points out of anybody. How do you feel about heading to old Atlanta? How do you think that's going to go?
I feel like I love old Atlanta. I feel like I'd do a lot better there than a super speedway, to be honest, because normally super speedways deals with a little bit of luck at hand and some teamwork. But Atlanta, I feel like it's all about tire management there. You gotta be able to know where to change lines and stay in the groove the best there. And that's one of the tracks I enjoy doing that.
I gotta say, I don't know how they're gonna set up the session, but it's hot Atlanta. Do you look forward to maybe a hot track at that track, or do you want something a little cooler, maybe a little more gripped up?
I like a little bit a hot track. It tends to keep the field a bit more spread out, so less cautions and more racing and strategizing. And I like saving the right rear's a lot more fun than saving the right front on a cold track. So much rather be hot and sunny. So can't wait for next week to see what that brings us.
Absolutely. Well, you've got a 100% win percentage here in GLSR so far, so hopefully you can keep that going. But before I let you go, you got the floor. Any last shout outs you got? Go ahead and let them rip.
I'd just like to thank my team, Had Racing, and our sponsors, Team Associated Reedy and J Concepts, for getting us in here and having a fun time.
All right. Well, congrats once again on the win. We'll see you next week. Jackson Anderson, good job.
Thank you.
Folks, that's going to do it for tonight's event here in the Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in here tonight, and we'll see you next week for some Atlanta action. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. A very special race going to be on HMS TV. Unfortunately, as many of you know, and if you don't, you'll know now, Willie Smith, a renowned Average Joe's Truck Series, or Average Joe's Sim Racing League driver, unexpectedly passed away. So they're having a bit of a memorial race for him tomorrow night. And it'll be live here on the channel. I believe going to be some IndyCar action. So make sure you go enjoy that. Watch, maybe donate. We'll have, I'm sure, some ways to donate if you'd like to do so towards any expenses for the family and whatnot. And then, of course, we're going to be off the next couple Fridays for the HMS TV Cup Series, but we'll be back before you know it for that. But Icon Cup Series back on Sunday, and then Tuesday you got Stars and Stripes before we get back around to Wednesday here. So make sure you tune in. Thanks to everybody watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.